everyone, my name's Laura and I've just hit the 12-week mark of going through topical steroid withdrawal. I wanted to do a video because I know that the first 3 months are the hardest, and this is the only time I've really actually been able to start to talk about it on camera. I've been watching a lot of people's videos, etc. and I know how helpful it is to see how other people are coping with and learning about coping mechanisms, and just knowing you're not alone out there. I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview. As I said, I'm Laura, I'm 29 and I live in London. I first started developing eczema when I was about 3 years old, and as my mum did, and as it says on the It's website, took me to the doctors and followed doctors and orders, which was steroid creams. That happened for the last 26 years, on and off. My skin would flare up and down, as it would, as eczema does, and I would apply stronger steroids and more often. I was never given any warnings and saying, well, don't apply anymore, you've used those for the last few years. It was constantly, oh, that one stopped working, let's put another one on, let's put another stronger one on, oh yeah, just put it there, or you're not supposed to put it on your face, but put a little bit. Same old cookie cutter story as to everyone else. So I've had 26 years usage. It's only really been in the last couple of years that I noticed that my eczema was so bad, like it was just getting really bad. No matter how strong a steroid I put on for how long, nothing was clearing up. Every time I've been abroad or away, I would notice it would just flare up massively. I had to go away for work for a month at the start of the year, and I came back and I was covered from head to toe, and I was scratching so much that I was just covered in bruises. And I went to the doctors and they were rushed me straight to hospital because they were thought I had leukemia or something because of the bruises, and had all these blood tests, etc. Naturally, thankfully, everything was fine. But naturally I walked out with a hell of a load more steroids, which I applied and they didn't work, and vice versa. Anyway, I had seen a friend who had been through it, and she had warned me of the dangers of steroids, but when it's not very talked about and not very heard about, so you don't really think of the dangers so much. Your doctors are giving these to you and you trust your doctor to make you better. It was only when I kind of went and saw her and she showed me the website, I was like, okay, I definitely have steroid-induced eczema. That was 12 weeks and 2 days ago, and I quit the steroids then, and the last 2 weeks, 12 weeks and 2 days have been hell. I can't actually describe the hell it's been. I've always, considered myself a pretty strong person, and what I've been through the last 12 weeks, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. The first 4 weeks, within the first week, my skin started flaring up and getting red patches, and every day you wake up and it's a little bit worse, and you think, right, this is it now, this is going to be the worst it gets, this is it, okay, I can deal with this, I can cope with this. And then every day it gets worse and worse and worse, and when you just don't think it can get any worse, it does. Firstly, you'd see it would start getting all over your body. You just notice it's not hives, I don't really know how to describe it. So your skin's just red all over, and then it starts cracking, and then all this ooze starts coming out, and there's nothing more disturbing than waking up in the night and your body's soaking, and you've got this is disgusting, but you've got this yellow liquid pouring out of every single crevice of you. My bed sheets had to be hoovered at least 3 times a night. I didn't know it was possible for your body to create so much skin. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm just horrible. And then along with that comes the pain and the burning. I mean, the first 4 weeks I was going to work. I work as a freelance TV producer, and being freelance, I rely on a daily wage. There's not really, I can't really not work. So I went to work for the first 4 weeks, and I was there, this was August, and I was there in 2 jumpers, my winter coat, blankets. I could not stop shivering. I would feel faint, I felt dizzy. I had absolutely no energy whatsoever. I worked because I loved working, and I focused all my attention on that to take away the pain and the discomfort that I was in. But when I went home, I would just have to sleep. But getting ready for work in the morning would take me a good couple of hours, because actually to have to put my skin on my clothes, I would scream and I would scream. It was like torture. It felt like my whole body was an open wound. I was just due to do a big shoot, and I was supposed to work on the Sunday. When I got home from work on the Friday, I laid down. I didn't get up till the following Thursday. Like I had to pull out of work. I couldn't walk. Like my boyfriend got home from work one night and he was just like, right, we're going to the hospital. Like you can't do this anymore. Like I was just screaming. Like my legs I had edema, which is when like everything swells up. Like my feet merged into my legs. They were like the same width. I looked like a duck-billed platypus or something. Like trying to walk. And so we called the doctors and called the ambulance because I was just awful. Like I hadn't been able to move, like I couldn't put anything on my skin. I haven't worn clothes, as you can see, really, for the last 12 weeks. So the ambulance were really difficult and they were like, oh, we can't come, like, is it bad? And my boyfriend had to turn around and say, she's not breathing, just to get them there. And the paramedics came, and first it was one guy who wasn't really with it, in all honesty, and then another couple turned up and one guy just looked at me and was like, well, just use the steroids, like, just, what's the point, just put steroids back on. And I'm just like, and so I sent them away. I was like, just go. I was like, I'll go and see my doctor tomorrow. Please just get out of my flat and just go, like, in a nice way. And then I was just, trying to get comfortable, and the door knocks, and the paramedic was stood there, and he's like, we can't let you go. You actually have the lowest blood pressure we've ever seen of anyone. So I got taken in, and I was admitted, and I was there for 5 days, and literally the second that I got in, or like within like half an hour or so, they come over with a little pot of steroids, like oral steroids, prednisone, I can't ever pronounce it. And I was just like, no, like absolutely not. Like I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm in this condition. I've done my research. I'm not stupid. And this is my choice. Oh God, I can't tell you how many doctors I had to go through and battle my cause with. Like the next day I couldn't walk still, so I was wheelchaired down to like the dermatologist. Like I felt like I had VIP access. You usually have to wait months to see a dermatologist, but I was straight in. And like whilst I was in there, he was on the phone. Like the nurse was in there and he was talking to the nurse about another patient, going, if she doesn't want my treatment, get her out and stop wasting my time. I've got an appointment with him this Friday. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go armed with a whole load of information about topical steroid addiction. Anyway, I spent 5 days in hospital. I was on a drip. I was an IV, but where my skin was so swollen, like my cannulas kept popping out. Like I had them in 3 different places, and like one night they sent 5 different nurses to try and get the tube into my body. And every time it's like, we can't do it, it's too swollen, we can't get a vein, we can't get in. And like in the middle of the night, like I hadn't slept by this point because you don't sleep when you're in hospital. My blood pressure was so low that I was having to have my observations done every hour. And I was in so much pain. Like I was showering, like I'll come on to that in a minute. But it was just hell. It was hell. And I had so many doctors visiting me and saying, just take the steroids, we'll give you steroid cream. And then they gave me Aqueous, the 50-50 cream. So I was showering, like my only relief has been to bath and to shower. I recently had to move back to my mum's 3 and a bit weeks ago because in my flat back in London, like I don't have a bath. And what I would do is I'd get in the shower cubicle, like really tiny shower cubicle, and I'd sit over the plug hole and let the bath kind of like go up to 2 inches of water and put a bit of Epsom salts in there and try and splash myself. But it sounds horrible, but I was in so much pain, and every time I would shower or anything, I was sick on myself. Like I was in so much pain, I'd just stand there and I'd just start vomiting, and be so dizzy. And it's really one of those things that when you're going through, you go, I don't actually know how I'm going to go through this. Friends, people didn't really understand. It's like, you've got a skin problem, and it's like you've got eczema, and everyone's so kind and sending suggestions and stuff. It's like, I don't have eczema anymore, I'm going through withdrawal. Like my skin is like a heroin addict crying out for the drugs again. There's nothing I can do other than wait it out. When I was in hospital, the nurse came up to me. The nurses were incredible, like absolutely fantastic. She said to me, "Don't give you what the doctors gave you." And she recommended this cream. There's a chemist in Walthamstow, and she says they make it on site. And so my boyfriend went up the next day, and there was like a queue of these people waiting for this oatmeal colloidal cream. And he got me 2 tubs, and came out of hospital, I think 2 days after I'd got the cream, and I was applying it, and like, I literally thought I was better. Like, I was literally like, oh my God, I'm so much better. And we managed to have 3 days of like me almost feeling normal. I was still a little bit purple and red skinned, but the smoothness and the cracking and everything had really subsided. But then I woke up that Monday morning, and everyone will know who's going through this. You know when you're starting a flare and you're getting the little red spots, and within days, and that was about 8 weeks ago. And I've been in that flare, and it's only really been the last 3 days that I've started to subside from it, like, and actually just feel a bit normal again. I have been in the bath now, so I came back to my mum's just over 3 weeks ago, and I've been spending up to 10 hours at least a day in the bath. Like, I've been putting Epsom salts in. I've also been using bentonite clay and French green clay. When I first got topical steroid withdrawal, I did my research and I knew that I was going to be going through hell. So I kind of wanted to prepare my body as best as I could to try and line it up and get it in as kind of healthy a state as possible. I went to a place called the Organic Pharmacy in London, and they did some like allergy tests and just overall testing on what kind of like levels and things that are right and wrong in my body. And they put this like thing on your head and your wrists and your ankles, and they measured lots of things, and a very expensive bill later. I came out with a whole huge bag full of supplements, which I've been taking religiously since. There's like lots of detox things. There's liver and kidney, because obviously your kidney needs to flush out all the toxins, because you're just riddled, you're full of toxins, like you're so badly poisoned from all the steroids that you need to get your body in a good shape. Nothing's gonna speed up, well, nothing's gonna make this any easier, but I kind of just like to believe that if I put the best things into my body, then hopefully, you know, it might help it. I want to stay positive. I did that. I've been taking like quercetin, which is a natural antihistamine. Like, I was prescribed antihistamines and I was taking them for a bit, but I know that they can block your kidneys as well, so I'm going for a more natural approach for that. What else have I been taking? Oh, just everything under the sun, like omegas. I've got a whole list. Like, I'm happy for people to contact me and give a whole list, because I'm like literally taking like between £200 and £300 worth of supplements a month. I mean, it would have been a pair of nice expensive shoes, which is sadly not, but no, it's fine. So yeah, I'm doing that. I cut out gluten and wheat out of my diet. They were things that came up in my allergy test, so I thought, you know, I'll give that a go. It's really hard, like, and I cut out alcohol. I've also cut out refined sugar. I allow myself a little bit of like dairy-free, gluten-free chocolate when I need it, or, you know, the odd little treat, like my local pizzeria where I live near Stoke Newington. They'd made me up a gluten-free, dairy-free pizza. And oh my God, it was like heaven when it arrived. I was just like, oh, this is Christmas, this is the best thing ever. But I mean, I find it really easy. I'm vegetarian anyway, so I found it really easy to kind of go vegan and gluten-free, and I love vegetables, so it's been quite easy in that respect. I've been juicing a lot, so lots of kale, lots of spinach, apples, pears. I think pears and apples are anti-inflammatories, so I've been putting those in as well. What else have I been doing? Eating lots of avocados and sweet potatoes, because they've got loads of natural oils in. As I said, bath. Sitting in the bath. I'm in the bath now. I'm comfortable. I'm not scratching. Oh God, we haven't even started on the scratching. I mean, the scratching, the itching, the burning, that deep bone scratch where you just literally feel like you just want to rip like your skin off. Like, nothing relieves you, like nothing. Like, I literally left the house. I mean, I actually managed to leave the house twice on Saturday for half an hour stints, which is a new personal best for a very long time. Like, I just don't want to leave the house at the moment. I can't, because I start itching and I feel anxious. I'm sure everyone who knows that goes through this, like, my face is looking much better than it did. It's covered in jojoba oil at the moment, just to stop, like, because the cracking on it is just insane. But yeah, like leaving the house is just, it's not an option. It's just too painful to leave the house completely. And before I leave the house, I get so anxious. Like, I have a panic attack before leaving the house, because I don't care what people think of me when they see me, to be fair. Like, fortunately, I'm quite strong enough to go, if someone questions me or asks me, I will literally reel off for ages about topical steroid withdrawal. Like, if people want to question me and ask me why I look when I do, or when I did look worse than I do now, then I'm more than happy to tell them, because, you know, I want to get as much out as possible and tell people, you know, spread the word, really. In types of cream that I've used, God, there's so much to cover on this, and now I've been waffling on for ages, but I was using Elicon, Betnovate, Umavate, Fusibet, Nerazone, Dactocort, everything else that's been made over the last 26 years I've applied, and I've applied it quite, like, when it was bad, I kind of applied it like a moisturiser, because your skin's so bad, and you don't know what to do, and you're seeing results, and no one really warns you of the side effects, so I just applied it like moisturiser. I've been doing moisturiser withdrawal. Well, I say moisturiser withdrawal, like, I haven't been applying any kind of like moisturisers other than on my hands, because my hands are severely like cracked and weeping and sore and shedding, other than jojoba oil, because jojoba oil is the closest to your natural skin's, I guess gel's in the back, closest to your natural skin's level. So I've been using a lot of jojoba, however you say it, which is helping. Like, actually, my skin couldn't tolerate it, couldn't tolerate anything, and I tried every single cream under the sun. Oh, the wondrous oatmeal cream that I got originally, like, that stopped working after a few weeks. So just do what your skin wants you to do. Like, if your skin wants moisturiser on it, put it on it. If it doesn't, don't put it on. I've started to see in the last week or so my skin producing natural oils. I've been doing moisturiser withdrawal for 3 weeks now, and there's nothing more exciting than finding like a patch of like that's been like deep, cracked, oozing, like, and starting to see it become natural again, or like a little patch. It's amazing. It's really, really, really satisfying. But I just think for anyone out there at the moment who's going through that worst 1 to 3 months, like, it does slowly get better, and I know that this is a long hurdle, and you know, this can take years to get better from, and I know, like, on various support groups, I see people come back with flares which are similar to the first 3 months quite commonly, but I think when you've done the first 3 months, you know you can handle it, and you just have to stay strong. Like, I do so many things I can to just try and keep happy and to keep my spirits, which is really hard. Like, you know, I'm not ashamed to say that I've been depressed, like, so depressed, so anxious, so down, where you just don't know how you're going to face another day. When your skin smells, like, everyone knows the smell of the ooze, like, you wake up, oh God, I had another infection. Like, my skin was so infected, it spread to both my ears and ruptured both eardrums, and like, my pillow was constantly yellow and blood, and you know, the whole sheets are soaking wet and this yellow ooze. You can't put clothes on, like, it's so undignified. Like, I'm losing loads of hair because it's all in my scalp. Yeah, it's just hell. Oh, sleep. You don't sleep. Like, what's sleep? Like, sleep's totally, like, for the first 2.5 months I didn't sleep. Like, I was up, sitting on the sofa, scratching, trying to keep my mind occupied by watching something, but, you know, nothing really takes away from the fucking pain. Oh, excuse my French. From the pain. Yes, but, you know, I know it's hell the first 3 months, and for some people, like, the first 6 months, and I'm still living in the bath. But you get there. But things I do to stay happy, I listen to music in the bath. Like, I'll put on a song, or I'll find something with lyrics that kind of like keeps you positive and keeps you happy. And I don't know, I look at old holiday photos at like 3 AM in the morning or something, and I just, you know, I'm blessed. Like, I'm going through hell right now, but I know how lucky I am still. Like, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to get over this. And one thing that you realise when you are in this state, how many people you have around you who love you and support you. Like, I wasn't going to share this with anyone, and like, I've plastered it all over my Facebook page, because actually, like, I'm getting support from, you need support, like, you actually really need the support. Like, you're not doing, I've missed so many things since I've been ill, friends' weddings, you know, there's so many things I have planned, trips I have plans, you know, but I'm going to get better, and, you know, I'm fortunate that I still have my life ahead of me, and this might take 2-3 years to get better from, but, you know, I'm still going to have my life with nice clear skin after that. It's easy to be angry with the dermatologists and the doctors. I'm angry with the pharmaceutical companies. I'm angry with the fact that there's research out there on this. Really angry, actually. No, you know, I'm really angry that there's research out there and this is so preventable. But, you know, we're a commodity at the end of it. We're a business, we're a customer. You know, why tell someone to go and use salt water and cut out things from their diet when, you know, you can make money off someone for like 26 years of their life giving them steroid creams, you know. It's commonplace, I think, really, and I think, you know, we all need to wise up to that, and that needs to become, you know, it needs to get out there. And the suffering that I've gone through, the suffering that, there's almost 3,000 people in the Facebook support group, and there's like a handful, probably on one hand you could count the amount of dermatologists that actually support this globally. No, there's no support. I've got no support here in the UK. Like, I haven't met anyone yet. If anyone knows of any dermatologists that support this or help this, then please send me their details. That'd be amazing. And likewise, for anyone that's out there and is going through this, like, just hang in there. Like, it's tough. And when you're in your darkest hour and it's 3 AM and you haven't slept for a month, your skin's cracked, it's bleeding, it's oozing, you can't stop scratching, you're burning, you are on fire. Like, you just, and all the symptoms are constant and they're 24/7. Like, there's no release. There's no release, no amount of painkillers, no cream. Everything you seem to do is worse. Even like putting on a bed sheet or something makes you scream in anxiety, and you feel like your soul has been ripped out of you and you feel like you just want to die. It does get better. Like, it does. And I'm sure I'm going to go through worse flares. I'm sure I'm going to get through there, but even if you have 5 minutes of a good day, hold on to that. Even if you don't have any good moments of a day, you will. Like, you really will. Look, I know I've been rambling on for some time, but anyone who wants, like, I've got tons of photos of like my first 3 months of when I was like skin falling off my face, didn't recognise myself, like my whole body, like I've had a whole full body flare since day dot of this. And like I said, it's only just now that I'm starting to feel a little bit brighter. But sending you all lots of love and positive thoughts, and just stay strong and you'll get there, and we're all there together. Just use the support around you and we'll get through this and we'll beat it. All right? Okay, thank you all for listening, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.